All right, I started recording in my computer. So let's continue. All right. So yesterday we are done with the single row subquery, and today we are seeing about we are trying to understand about the multi-row subquery. Okay, as the name suggests, as the name itself, if the see the name of the query itself, we will understand here single row subquery in the sense what we discussed yesterday. Like if we are executing any subquery, if we are executing the subquery, if the output is I mean if it returns the output as a single value, that is called as single row subquery. In the same way, multi-row subquery in the sense it will, the output of the subquery will return multiple rows here, right? Exactly opposite to the single row subquery, correct? So first, just let me write it as here multi-row subquery in the sense, as I said, whenever we if the subquery result, whenever we if the subquery returns the output as more than one, I can say, correct? More than one, or if it returns multiple rows, then we will call it as then it is called as multi-row subquery. Okay, basically you understand the concept here, right? While uploading the file, I will just write the definition very clearly. The concept is whenever we are executing the subquery, if that subquery, the output, if it returns the multiple rows, then we will call it as a multi-row subquery, correct? So now let's see solve some examples. Okay, here I have, let me write the question first. Let's solve some example. The question is display the employees whose salary, okay, is equal to the whose salary is equal to the salary of at least one employee in department, maybe number 2. Maybe I'll say department ID. See, my question is that I'm asking you, I'm saying I want to display the employees whose salary is equal to the salary of at least one employee in department ID 2. Basically, first we need some employees data and department data, and I have that data in this database. Let me just activate that database called as data analytics. Okay, so I'm having some employees details and department details here. I'll just execute that tables quickly. Okay, so this is employees table. Okay, in employees table, I have my employee ID, employee name, salary, and department ID. Okay, I have 4 columns here. Along with the employee details, I have department ID in employees table. In departments table, I just have two columns. One is one is department ID and department name. Okay, these are my two tables basically. First, let's try to solve this example. One example on multi-row subquery on this tables. Okay. So now I just, my question is that I want to display the employees. Okay, from the employees table only, I will display the employee details, correct? I'm saying whose salary is equal to the salary of at least one employee in department ID 2. As we discussed yesterday, in every subqueries, whenever we are dealing with subqueries, we can divide the question into two parts, correct? Basically two questions, we will write some two statements. One will be like subquery, one will be like main query, correct? So here also, what I'm asking, I want to display the employee details whose salary, maybe up to here I can consider it as one question. Okay, this is my condition, that salary should be equal to the salary of at least one employee in department ID 2, right? Now let's see how we will solve this. Here you saw in employees table I have department ID. In departments table also I have department ID, and basically I have four departments here like HR, engineer, sales, marketing, like this. We are talking about department ID too. If we saw the data here, how many employees are there in department ID 2? 1, 2, 3. Basically I have three employees who are working in the department ID 2, correct? So let's see. Here I'm saying salary of at least one employee in department ID 2. That means in department ID 2, there can be more than one employee, right? As we saw in the output also directly, before writing the query, we just saw the output directly. We had almost three employees in the department ID 2, correct? So whenever I execute the salary of the employees in the department ID 2, my output, I'm getting the output as multiple values here, correct? So in any department, if I ask a question like this, in the second part of the question, my output will be here previously what we did, we divided the question into two types. Almost regarding the salary only, we solved our first, based on the employees and salary kind of thing only, we solved our first example. Here also what we did, we divided the question into two parts. Display the employee details whose salary will be our first question. The average salary of all employees will be second question. Whenever I executed my second question, like the average salary, the output is a single, a single value. So we will consider this into the single valued subquery. Now here also what I'm doing, whatever question I have, I divide that question into two parts. And the second part of the question, I need to say, I need to fetch the salary of employees in department ID 2. That means whenever we are talking about any particular department, in that department we can have multiple employees. We cannot say that we will have only one employee. That means whenever we are fetching that data, we will basically we will get some multiple values as the output. So that is why we will consider this question, or consider this part, consider this syntaxes into the multi-row subqueries. Now let's see how we will solve that. Okay. So basically I will write it as to, first I need to fetch, as I'm saying, the salary of at least one employee in the department ID 2. That means I need to, let's forget about at least for now. I'm saying salary of one employee in department ID 2, in the sense, first of all, I want to understand the salary of employees in department ID 2, correct? This will be our second question. The first question will be, I need to display the employee details. So let me just write this syntax here. We will write it as, we need to write the employees details whose salary. So I'll directly write it as select star from employees, right? Select star from employees, and I'm seeing
whose salary is equal to. So at that time I can write where clause and I will say salary, correct? We are talking about salary is equal to. For now, let me write the operator equal to here. Now what I'm saying, what is my second question? The salary of at least one employee in department ID 2. At least will be used to compare only. Let's forget about at least. Now our remaining question is one employee in depart. Basically, we are talking about the salaries of employees in department number 2. That is what our second query, correct? So now inside in the second query, what I need to write? I need to display the salary of employees who are working in the department number 2. So how we will write, like how we will write that syntax?
I need to write directly select salary from employees table, because in employees table also I have salary column and I have department ID column, correct? So I will directly write it as select salary from employees. Okay. Now what is my condition? Where department ID is equals to 2. This is my second question basically, right? Salary, first we need to find the salaries of every employee who is working in the department number 2, and then I'm saying that I want the details of employees, complete employees of the in the complete, I mean, it not we are not talking about any particular department, we're talking about the complete employees. We need to fetch the details of the complete employees whose salary is it, equal to at least one of the employee in department ID 2. Okay. Now the concept here is I will use this one as my inner query. So wherever I will write my inner query and subquery, I need to write it inside the parenthesis, correct? And this will be my outer query, right? But the concept, if you can observe, did whatever I wrote here, is that a correct syntax? Can you observe anything? Can you find any mistake in my query?
Ma'am, we have to remove star like with name salary.
Okay, here that is fine. Apart from that, as you said, if I want to display the
Ma'am,
employees, maybe I can
salary
direct.
in it should be like salary in.
Correct. That is what I'm expecting, because here this output, whenever I'm displaying directly, even I can suppose if I'm executing this one second. Suppose if I'm executing this one, I got almost three values here. That is, I have three employees who are working in the department ID 2. If it is one employee, if I get one output, I can directly use this equals to operator here. But this is no, we are not getting single valued output. We are getting multiple values here. That is the reason for multiple values we cannot, we cannot use equals to, right? How it will be like, suppose I'm trying to see the employee salary here. Suppose first employee salary is 1000. Okay. I'm saying equals to, then I'm saying here I'm not getting one value, maybe I'm getting 1000, 2000, 3000. I really cannot perform the comparison operator with, if I have one value here, I cannot equals to with the multiple values. In this statement also, if my output is only one value, I can use equals to symbol. As we are getting multiple values output, we are not supposed to use equals to symbol. We have an in operator in SQL, which we already discussed previously. What in operator will do, it will basically try to match a list of values, correct? Like this, whenever we use in operator, basically we will give some values here, and it will basically match that list of values. That means whenever we are comparing with the multiple values, we need to use in operator. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now what SQL will do, first it will execute this inner query. It will try to fetch the salary of employees where department ID is 2. Just now we saw I got some three values here, right? Now what it will do, it will try to uh, you know compare these three values with each and every employee
of my employee's table salary, correct? Wherever, if see, for this values, wherever the salary is equals to that employee details only, it will display. That is what we asked in the question. Display the employees whose salary is equal to the salary of at least one of the employee in department id 2, correct? Here let me just execute this. In I got this many values here. One second. Yes, I got this many values here. Okay, here in the output, don't confuse by seeing department id 1. We are not trying to fetch the data of employees from only department id 2. I am saying I want to fetch the complete employees table whose salary is equals to the salary of department id 2. If you can see here, I have 60,000, 75,000, 65,000. Correct? If I execute this single statement, it is also giving me 75,000, 60,000, 65,000. So accordingly, this three salaries is equals to, we are saying we have four records in the complete employee salary, four employees, we have four employees whose salary is equal to this three salaries, correct? Basically here no need of displaying the asterisk here, as someone said previously. I can directly display the employee's name, correct? Whatever I wrote employee name only. I can directly write it as employee name from employees where salary in, and this one. Okay, let me execute this. These are all the employees we have who are getting the same salary as the salary of the employees who are in the department id 2. Okay, am I clear?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
So this is how we will write the subqueries, whether it is a single row subquery, multi row subquery, correlated subqueries, whatever it is. Whenever we see the two question, whenever we see the question, and whenever we ask to perform, or whenever we ask to solve the question by using subqueries, we will just try to divide the query into two parts, and we will try to write, someone will write this query first, this query first. That is their own style of writing. However it is, we need to divide the question into two parts, and we need to try to write the two queries here, and we need to basically we need to compare them, or we need to end of the day it should satisfy whatever we are asking in the question. Okay, and especially about the operators, previously I said whenever we are discussing in the single row subquery, I said the concept here is this subquery, whenever we will executing, if it displays only one value, that is called as single row subquery. And I said when we will get basically single values, whenever we perform aggregate values only, 99.9% we will use aggregate functions only to solve this single row subqueries. Okay, but again, as we are getting one valued output here, to compare with the given question, we will use this operators. Okay, right? That is the reason I mentioned here that along with that aggregate functions in single in the single row subqueries, we will use this operators, right? Basically to compare one value, we will use this, right? In the multi-row subqueries, now we will, whenever we execute this what we call subquery, we will get multiple rows as the output. So for that multiple rows, we cannot use this operators, whatever I wrote here. Okay, whatever I mentioned here, apart from this, we can use any operators we have in SQL. Okay, that's the reason I mentioned each and every operator here. We cannot use in single row operators, we can only use this, single row subqueries, we can use only this operators. And in multi-row subqueries, we cannot use this operators. Other than this, we can use any operator to compare. Okay, as here we are using equals to, I used in. Basically we will use in and not in only 90%, right? So here I'm using in, and here according to the condition I'm displaying the data. So is that clear for you everyone, the concept of multi-row subquery?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Great. Let's solve one more question actually. Let's see one more example. One second. Okay. I'm directly writing the question here. My question is display the name of employees. Again, the same table we will using. Display the name of employees who work in departments with more than one employee. Okay, I repeat the question. I'm saying I need to basically display the employees. Okay, employee names I need to display. And my condition is who work in departments with more than one employee. That means this is my employees table and this is my departments table. So we have almost 4 departments here, correct? Now I'm asking, like, my question is like, in each department some employees will work. Now I need to find that departments, first of all, in which departments there are more than one employee. Okay, so if we see the output directly, what I can say here, in department ID 1, we have only one employee. Department ID 2, 1, 2, 3 employees are working. Department ID 3, 2 employees are working. And department number 4, 2 employees are working. That is, I want to display the employees details who work in departments with more than one employee, in the sense only department number 1 only we will having one employee. Basically in our output we have 2, 3 and 4. Three departments we are, basically we need to find first of all in which department there are multiple employees working, correct? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am. In this we will use group by employee ID or something.
Yes, correct, correct. We will follow that process only. So basically try first, we need to try to understand the question and then we need to solve. Okay, so here I'm saying I want to display the employee's name who work in departments more than one. That means basically we need to find, you know, department wise data first of all. That is the reason we will use group by. But first, let's see. Let's go with the flow. So I'm saying display names of employees who works in departments with more than one employee, right? That is, if any department there are multiple employees, first we need to display that employee names. So basically to solve this, first we need to find all the number of employees working in each department, right? Correct. We need to sort it like department wise data. We need to find all the employees who are working in each department. After that, whatever condition is given in the question, that condition we can apply. Let's see first what I need to do. uh, Display names of employees who work in departments. First I need to find the number of employees in each department, correct? End of the day we want, in each department we want how many employees are working. If we have more than one employee, we need to display that employee details only. For that, first I need to find the number of employees in each department, correct? So how we will do that let me write this also here. First, what we need to find here, we need to find number of employees working in each department, correct? First we need to find this. Am I right? First we need to, we are dividing this question sorry. So again, we are dividing this question. We need to display the employees who work in departments. Basically, the first question is we need to display the names of employees. And the second question is departments with more than one employee. For that, first I need to find the number of employees working in each department. Okay. So to find that, what we will use, how we will write, if I want to find number of employees working in each department, simply I will say select star from employees, right? See, in employees table, I have employee ID, employee name, salary, and department ID. As I also have department ID in employees table, I can directly use employees table, and I need to find here number of employees working in each department. Each department, in the sense, obviously, I need to, find the department wise data here, correct? As I need to find the department wise data, directly I will use group by department ID, correct? If I use group by department ID, if I use group by like this, I will get department wise data, correct? But here, what is the concept? As I'm using group by, I'm not supposed to use asterisk here. I need
Count.
to use department ID only in the select, correct? Then next, what I'm saying, I want to find in which department I have more than one employee. By, if with this query, what I can do, I can select the employee ID from employees group by department ID. Basically, I'm just dividing the department wise data here. But what is my condition here? I need to find in which department we have more than one employee. To use that, what we need to do here, to
Count
give
star.
that condition, correct, count star. But again, as we are using group by, we need to use having condition here, correct? We are not supposed to use where. As we are using group by, we can only filter the group by data by using having clause, which we already saw. Again, as we are basically counting everything, as we are trying to find the number of employees, I will use count function here. I will write it as count star greater than 1. This is my condition. Wherever my employees count is greater than 1 in each department, that details it will give. Correct? Am I right? What this query will return, it displays all the department IDs where we have more than one employee. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So basically, this is how we will write the second part of the question. Now, what is my requirement in the question? I want to display the names of the employees with respect to this question, correct? So now what I will do here, if I execute this, it is giving me three department IDs, 2, 3, and 4. That is what we saw previously in the employees table output, right? Previously, directly before starting, that is the reason before starting question only I'm trying to show you the output. Whenever I executed employees details, we saw only in one department we have only one employee. In two we have three employees. In department number 3 we have two employees. In department number 4, two employees. That means in which employees we have more than one in which department we are having more than one employee, 2, 3, and 4, correct? That is what we got after executing this one, right? We are saying I want to fetch, I want to display the department ID from employees table by grouping by department ID. That means we will just, department wise, first we will group the data and we will see where we are having greater than one employee, more than one employee. See, I got 2, 3, and 4 outputs, right? Now, this is my query to solve the second part of the question. What is the first part of the question? I need to display the names of employees, right, who work in departments with more than one employee ID. Basically, I need to display the names of employees. For that, what I need to do, simply, I need to display the employees details. That is, I will directly write it as select star from employees. right? Correct. Again, my condition, to give the condition, what I need to write here, who work in the departments, in the sense, obviously what I will write here, where,
Where employee ID in
no, department ID in,
department ID, sorry,
department
department
ID in, yeah,
ID in.
where department ID, correct, because we are talking about the departments here. Again, I will use the in operator, and basically this will be the subquery, so I will use parenthesis for here, for this, correct. This is how we will solve the queries. Okay, basically whenever we saw any queries, we need to divide the question into two parts, and we need to try writing two queries. Maybe first, most of the time, 90% of the times, we will write inner query only. According to that, we will write the first outer query, and we will give the conditions. Okay, the main concept we need to remember here is, whenever we are solving, especially I'm not talking about correlated thing, whenever we are talking about, first let's see this output. See, I got, as I used asterisk here, I got all my data. This is my employee names, this is the salary, and this is the department IDs. 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. That means in 2, 3, and 4 department IDs, I have more than one employees who are working, correct? I hope I'm clear. See, basically, whenever you are dealing with the subqueries for the first time, to solve the subqueries, you may feel a little bit of difficulty, because uh, in joins, when comparing to the joins, what we did in joins, by default we followed one process, correct. We will just joins the two tables by using some common condition, and if we want to join another table, we just join, and every time we just saw, we just understood which tables to join, what is the common column between them, and the same process, according to the requirements, according, we will use maybe other clauses, group bys, like that. Whereas almost the same thing only, the subqueries is not that complex, but the concept is, we need to divide the question into two parts, and we need to write subquery first, then outer query, and we need to understand, according to the output of the outer query, we need to write the operators here. Okay, this is about single row subquery and multi row subquery. Am I clear, guys? With some practice, you can able to solve these questions, no problem, because we are using all the normal concepts only, which we studied previously, right? We used group by, we used having, we used aggregations. If you practice continuously on all the concepts previously, whatever we learned, you can able to solve these questions also, right? I hope I'm clear till now.
Yes, ma'am,
Yes,
clear.
Devi.
Great. So this is how we will deal with multi-row subqueries. Okay. As I said, if this subquery returns single value, that will become single row subquery. If it returns multi-values, multiple rows, it will become multi-row subquery. According to that, we need to write the operators, right? So next we have correlated subqueries. Okay. Before explaining about correlated subqueries, we have the third type, that is correlated subqueries. Okay, before understanding this, previously in yesterday class, I said we have some term called as non-correlated subqueries also. I will explain later, I said, right? I didn't mention it as one of the type. I just mentioned only three types, that is single row subquery, multi row subquery, and correlated subquery. But I said you may hear about non correlated subquery also. What is that? In the sense, basically, whatever we deal till now, whatever examples we saw in single row subquery and multi row subquery comes under non correlated subqueries only. So, what is non correlated subqueries? In the sense, if whenever we are solving any subquery, okay, basically whenever we are solving any subqueries here, we know we have two parts. This is inner query or subquery, and this is outer query or main query, correct. In non correlated subquery, let me write the definition of non correlated first. Basically, in non correlated subquery, what the concept is, the inner query will not relate with the outer query. Okay, inner query or subquery, let me write the definition here. Inner query, we will also call inner query as subquery, correct? Will not be related to the outer query. That means if we execute inner query or subquery standalone, that means if I execute inner query separately, standalone or separately, we will get output, right? That is what we see. That means here I'm having my multi-row subquery. This will be my inner query or subquery. I'm seeing in non-correlated subquery, my inner query will not be related to the outer query. That is, if I execute inner query separately or standalonely, I will get the output. I can even execute inner query without the help of the outer query separately. Correct? In the both the cases, whatever examples we saw, basically non-correlated subquery in the sense, whatever examples, the multi-row subqueries and single row subqueries and multi-row subqueries comes under non-correlated subqueries only. In single row subqueries also, this is a single row subquery only. If I execute my inner query, it will give me the output. Sorry, as you know, this is about Maven Movies database. As I am in this database, it thrown me error. But you know that if we execute the select average amount from payment, we will get the data, right? Here, this such kind of queries, that is basically single and multi-row subqueries, will comes under non-correlated subquery, because we don't have any, no need, inner query will not be related to the outer query. Related in the sense, I can also say inner query will not dependent on the outer query. If I execute this inner query separately, still I can find my answers. Whereas we have a concept called as correlated subqueries. In that also we will write two queries, inner query and outer query. But if we try to execute the inner query, we cannot get any output, because this will be related to the outer query. If we execute the complete query only, we will get the output. We cannot execute this query separately. That is the difference. Let's saw some examples, then you can understand. Okay, I hope your what is non-related subquery is clear for you. Correct?
Yes, ma'am. But ma'am, in that case, like operator will change, I guess.
Yes. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, you are talking
Okay.
about correlated, right?
Yes, ma'am. Correlated.
Yes. Let's see. Okay. For now, just we don't have a separate, maybe, if you can hear, if you can heard somewhere what non-correlated subquery, in the sense all the queries which we cover in single and multi-row subquery comes under non-correlated, because the basic definition or basic concept is that the inner query or subquery will not be dependent on the outer query. Now let's see what is correlated subqueries. Okay, I will write it here only at the bottom. It is exactly opposite. Okay, here inner query or subquery will be related to the outer query. Okay, will be related. Yeah, be actually, right, will be related. That is, I can say my inner query or subquery will be dependent on outer query. If I execute inner query or subquery standalone, I will not get any output. Exactly opposite to non-correlated. Okay, will not get the output separately. Let me write the word separately here. Okay, so this is the concept of correlated subqueries. Now let's see how we will solve that basically. Okay, so first let's solve some example here. Maybe I will use Maven movies. And here, as I said in the yesterday's class, subqueries we have, with the subqueries we have the major drawback. We will face a lot of performance issues whenever we use subquery. That is the reason no companies will prefer to use subquery. Whenever you join, your managers will tell you that to avoid using subqueries, because whatever questions we solved till now, you can see every question will be solved without subqueries also, maybe using joins, maybe using group bys and having clauses, correct? So 95% we will prefer using remaining concepts only, not the subqueries. Again, it's completely one own's choice, our personal choice. Basically our client will be according to the requirement, we need to show the output for them. What concept you used is none of his business, right? When if we are talking about our own team or our own company, what they will see, they will see about the performance issues also. That is the reason they will suggest not to use subqueries. But if you are good at subqueries, if you use, no problem, no one will stop us to use subqueries. But again, in the subqueries, whatever we saw, single row subquery, multi row subquery is okay. But especially correlated subquery, now I'll give you one example and now I will show you, if we execute that, how SQL will process that query, so that you can understand how hard it will be for the database to execute each and every row that many times, so that you can understand, we will get how, I mean, why we are telling that we will get performance issues. Okay, basically, especially correlated subqueries will be completely, if we avoid using correlated subqueries only, that will be great, especially for the databases. Okay, in questions in interviews also, mostly 95% they never ask you about any subquery related questions. If you are a fresher, they may ask you like what is non correlated and correlated. Nowadays no one is asking for that also. Again, remaining 5%, if any of the companies, if they ask, they will ask you to solve the examples on maybe single row or multi row, but no one will touch the correlated. Okay, still try to understand the concepts, try to practice, but I'm telling you the fact, because you now, once you see this example and once you see basically how SQL will execute that query, then you can understand why I'm saying this. Okay, now let's solve one question. So in Maven movies, we have payment table and customer table, right? In customer table we have all the customer data. In payment table we have payment ID, customer ID, amount in the sense, payment amount, whatever customer paid, that will be the amount. And we have some other columns as well. Now let me give you one, let's solve one question. Fetch the customer first name and last name. Okay, I'm directly writing the question based on this tables. Okay, because in customer we already solved a joins concept. In customer table we have customer I mean first name and last name as columns, right? So that's the reason I am writing directly first name and last name instead of writing customer details or customer names. I'm writing fetch the customer first name and last name. Okay, uh, or else I can say fetch the first name and last name of the customers, okay, who made at least 30 transactions. Okay, who made at least 30 transactions is my question. Okay, that means I'm talking about customer table. In customer table only, I'm having first name and last name columns, right? I'm talking about 30 transactions, in the sense I'm talking about the payment table. In payment table only, we will have all the transaction details. Transaction details is nothing but payment details. After making some payments, we will call them as transactions, right? So here, basically my question is, I need to display all the customer names who made at least 30 payments. Okay, 30 times whoever made payment, at least 30 times whoever made payment, that customer names I want. That is what my question. Who made at least 30 transactions? Basically, I want the data now from the customer table and the payment table. By using joins, we can simply do that. We can just join these two tables and we will just write the conditions over there. Correct? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on the common column, we will just join and we will write the some where clause over there. The concept will be finished. But if we ask to, if we want to solve this by using subqueries, what we need to do in the sense, first here I need to find the first name and last name of customers. I'm saying who made at least 30 transactions. In the sense, as I said, the customer should make at least 30 times payment. Correct? I mean, who the customer who make more than 30 times payment, at least 30, in the sense more than 30 is also fine, correct, but not less than 30, right? Basic understanding of at least 30, in the sense at least the customer should pay 30 times. If more than 30 also okay, like 31, 32 is also okay, but it should not be like up to 29, correct? First understanding is that. And the second thing, first, if we try to divide this question, what will be my division? The first part will be I need to find the first name and last name of the customers. This will be my, first part of the question. And the second part of the question, I need to try to find the transaction details, 30 transaction details from the payment table. That will be my inner query for sure, correct? So let me write it as, normally, first if we start writing normally, okay, first I need to fetch the first name and last name. Okay, so I will write from the customer table, I have first name, correct, comma last name from. What I will do to write that question, basically I will say select first name comma last name from customer, correct? If we divide the question up to here, if I want to write, I will just, it is I mean, I'm telling I want to display first name and last name of the customer. To do that, I will write this much only, select first name last name from the customer table, correct? So now what is my what we call condition here? Who made at least 30? At least 30 will be my condition. So for now I will use where and I will write 30 here. I won't write any operator for now. Let's see what operator we can write. Okay. Now I need to find out how many customers made at least 30 times payment. So for that, obviously, I need to go to the payment table. Till here, just let's, I just wrote like this and I left like this. Now let's try to understand the data. For that, I'm just clicking on, I'm just trying to fetch, select star from customer. Okay, and select star from payment table. Okay, see, this is my customer table and this is my payment table, correct? Basically, to find at least 30 payments, in the sense, what I need to do, I need to count the transaction. So we know we need to use count function here, correct? Right? We need to understand how many customers made at least 30 times payment. 30 times, in the sense, we will use count function only, correct? So if I say, suppose if I say select count star from payment. Okay, basically this is my customer, sorry, this is my customer data, this is my payment data. I want to understand about the transactions customer made 30 times, how many customers paid at least 30 times. But for that, to understand about the 30 times, obviously I need to use count function, that is for sure. But if I use count function like this, if I use count star from payment, what my output will be, how many rows I am having in this table, that will it will display, correct? But that is not we want, because if you observe, please observe the data here. This is our payment table. Here we are having payment id and customer id. Let's please forget about all the remaining columns, only focus on payment id and customer id. From the customer table also, I'm having only customer id. Okay, if I say count star from customer table, it will just count each and every row here, and it will display how many rows I have, like 599 rows I have, it will just display that value. Basically what it means, I'm just counting how many customers I have in this database. But that is not my question. If I use count star from payment, I'm just counting how many payments I have in my database. That is also not my question. I'm saying I want to find which customer made more than 30 payments. So if you observe the data from the payment table here, if we observe the payment id, each and every row, for each and every transaction we given one payment id, correct? Going forward, we have some almost 10,000 rows here, correct? Now in customer id, if you observe, I have one here, like almost for up to here, up to 32 rows I have first I have customer id 1 only. That means 32 times customer id 1 made the transaction, correct? Am I right? Just try to think logically. If you didn't understand anywhere, please stop me, okay?
Here we can use group by customer ID in payment table where count
uh,
is greater than equals to
uh,
having greater than equal to
Yes, yes.
30.
If it is normal joins, I mean, if we, without joins, I mean, sorry, without subqueries, we can directly use whatever you are saying. We can directly get the answer. But now we need to understand how, I mean, if we include subqueries concept here, what it will happen, I will explain. Okay. Uh, I know we are done with the time, but if you are okay, I need 5 minutes more to explain this syntax. Okay. Is that okay? Just five
Yes, ma'am.
minutes.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'm saying, as what Pritesh said, that is correct. If you use group by and having, if we mention everything, it will be the normal query. But in subqueries, we need to write something different. For now, just forget about all the concepts. Just try to understand the data here logically. What I'm saying, we need to understand the customer IDs or how many customers did at least 30 times payment. If we see, this is the payment table, and whatever payment id I have, that is each transaction I have in my table. And this customer one made this many transactions, right? If I go down and if I see up to here, I have only customer id 1 transaction details. That means I can say my customer id 1 did 32 transactions here. That is 32 times he paid some amount in this database. Okay, if we see the output, we can understand that. Okay, next I have customer id 2. If I can see, I have some transactions for customer id 2. Next, I have customer ID 3, like that for each and every customer. How many customers I have in this table, that customer made some transactions, some number of transactions in the payment table, that details I have. Now, to basically to solve this query, what I need to do here, let's see. Okay. So basically what I am doing here, I can simply write it as, you know, where is this? Up to here. Okay, let's not talk about the condition operator now. Up to here, maybe it is something about the first query, like, this is about the first outer query here. Now to write the inner query, what I need to do, I can simply write it as maybe where Okay, up to here I wrote something that is maybe the first query. Okay, now I'm writing something here. Okay, I'm just trying to count the rows from the payment table. Okay, but what I'm doing here, if I simply write the count star from payment, it will give the complete value, complete count or complete rows what I have in my payment table. But that is not I want. I want how many customers did how many transactions, right? For that, I can write one where condition here. Okay. See, I'm not relating with this two. I'm just talking about the inner query. Okay. Here, I will write where and I will say here from payment table and customer table, we have a common column that is customer ID. Now, if I simply execute this one, it will give me the complete count of what my payment table have. But I don't want that. I want with respect to the customer ID, how many payments I have. So I need to basically connect customer table and payment table here. If it is normal without subqueries, basically we will use joins here. We will combine both the tables and we will write the we will filter the conditions or we will write the conditions accordingly. But here we are not supposed to use joins, we are supposed to use subqueries only. But again, in subqueries also, I cannot get this output only by using payment table. I need to relate with this two, customer and payment table. So to relate that, what I need to do here, I will give one alias name here for this customer, and I will write c dot customer id is equals to p dot customer id. Okay, I'm saying what is the common column between those two tables. In joins also we will do the same, but after performing join, I mean to perform the join, we will mention the common condition, and based on the common condition, it will perform join, and we will then write some conditions over there. Correct? In subqueries also, we will use the common column, but without joins, we will just use a where clause, and we are giving this condition because with respect to the customer ID column in the customer table and customer ID column in the payment table only, we can get the output. We will basically relate that. Okay, but I need to write here where p dot customer id is equals to c dot customer id. I'm talking about the payment table here. I want to count the payment data here, but I'm giving the condition from the payment table. I need to write alias name as p here. Okay, I need to write from payment table customer id is equals to customer table customer id. Let me show you what SQL will do if I write like this. Okay, basically what I did, I just given the common column. What is the common column between the two tables? I just mentioned that without using joins, but I gave some alias names here. Okay, I just gave some alias names and I used the common column between them. If I write like this, what SQL will do in the sense, as I wrote where clause and in the where clause I given the condition, we know what where clause will do. Correct? What where clause will do, basically it will check the data and each and every row. Correct? Each and every row it will check where clause works in the row level only. So what it will do, okay, here I'm saying payment dot customer id is equals to customer dot customer id. It will go to the payments table first. From the payments table, I will scroll it up. Okay, this, let's only see about this thing here. I'm talking about this syntax here. Okay, without joins also we can write a common column here by using a where clause. Okay, I'm saying from payment table customer id, this is my payment table customer id. Whenever I use where clause, what it will do, it will go to the payment table customer id and it will check what is the first, I mean where clause, what it will do, it will check row wise data. Correct? First row I have one here. Correct? In the first row my customer id is one. Then it will try to compare that with the customer table customer id. I'll go to the customer table. First customer id I have one only, right? It will check first row from the payment table with the first row from the customer table. So it is, the condition is true here. 1 is equals to 1. Correct? We have 1 here and we have 1 here. So basically what it will do, whenever this where clause is true, it will count the number. So here I got 1. Okay, this is true. So I got 1. Next what it will do, it will go to the second row. Okay, in the second row also it will check, we have 1 here. It will go to the customer table. It will check with the first row only, because we are saying from payment table customer ID, first we used this column, I mean this table, and then I used this table. Whenever I use where clause, first it will check according to this, whatever I wrote here, that table only first it will check until it the condition is satisfied. Once the condition is not satisfied only, it will go to the second row of this table. Okay, so for the first time we have 1 here, we have 1 here. Okay, the condition is satisfied, the count is 1. Next it will go to the second row, I have 1 here, I have 1 here. It will check, it is keeping on checking with the first row only. Okay, now the condition is true, it count, the count became 2. Like that, third row, first row, the condition is true, count became 3. Like that, it will check for each and every row here. Okay, it will go down, we can see where we are having 1 here up to 32, we are having 1 only. It will execute each and every time, each and every row it will check, each and every time it will execute with 1 row of this data, with 1 row of, I mean only the first row it is doing from the for customer ID for now. Okay, till here the condition is satisfied and my count will become 32 here, right? Next, second, next statement after 32, what it will do, it will go to this row. Here my condition is 2. It will check with first row only in the customer ID 1. Here condition is not satisfying. 2 is not equals to 1. Then it will just, you know, uh, store or return 32 as the output for customer ID 1. Okay. Next what it will do, as the condition is not satisfying after 32, till 32 the condition is satisfied, that is it counted till 32. In the next row, here I have 2, here I have 1. The condition is not satisfying. As the condition is not satisfying, it will just go to the second row here. It will just display for the customer ID 1, we have 32 rows. It will go to the second row and it will start executing from here only. 32, I mean sorry, here 2 and 2. Like that, it will keep on executing each and every row until it, here also this what we call the what we call the condition is satisfying. Up to here we will get 2 equals to 2 only, right? So how many values we have like this, let me count it for you. From here what it will do, when 2 is not satisfying with 1, it will just come out of that loop and it will just display this 32 as the output of customer ID 1. Next what it will do, for the next value from the 2, here it will check with this 2, here the condition is satisfying, again it will start counting from 1 for customer ID 2. Okay, until the condition not satisfied, this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27, 20, 27. I have only 27 records here. So for my customer ID to 27 times it will execute and it will count the value as 27. Okay. Next, whenever it is for this customer ID 2, after this it will go to the next row, that is 3, and it will check with the 3 with this customer ID 2. Here the condition is not satisfied, then again it will come out of that loop and it will store that 27 value for the customer ID 2, and then it will try to check with the customer ID 3 with the next row. It will do the same process again and again till the last customer ID here. That means, can you even imagine how many times SQL should execute each and every query here? I have almost 370. This is, I have almost 10,000 rows in this data only. 10,000 into this many times. Correct? Guys, is that okay? Whatever I said?
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
So basically what it will do for customer ID, it is storing the value as 32. That means I'm just closing this two tables. So for the customer ID 2, it stored the value 32 in this output. Okay. Whenever we are, if we execute this inner query, we can't get any output because I used some alias names which will which by which we will relate to the outer query. So that is the reason I cannot directly execute this. If I execute also, it will throw me error unknown customer call id, I mean C here, because I connected with C from here. That is the reason we cannot execute this standalone. But whenever SQL is executing this query, okay, it will execute all together. And every time after executing the complete table here, what it will do, for the customer ID it got 32, for the customer 2 it will get 27, like that. For customer ID 3 it will get some value, maybe 20, more than 30, less than 30, I don't know. Okay, suppose it got 29, it store in the 3 here, each and every value. Now what it will do, for customer ID 1 I got 32, this 32 here, the output of customer ID 1 here will be the 32, this 32 will be compared with this 30. I'm saying at least 30 transactions, right? At least 30 in the sense it can be greater than 30, 30 also. That means here as I got 32, uh, this condition, I mean 32 in the sense that is what I am asking the questions, more than 30 transactions only. Correct? That means I need to write a operator in such a way that it should display my first row. That is, I can write directly as, so that means I can write directly the syntax as a which symbol. Basically, we are getting one value only here. So we can directly write the single valued operators also. Correct? So simply what I will write, I will use this less than symbol here. Okay. And sorry, I will use less than symbol. I will write within the brackets this query. So for this query, I got first 32, as 30 is less than 32. That means 32 transactions my customer ID 1 already did. That is the reason, as 30 is less than 32, the condition is satisfying. It will display the customer name of customer, basically it will display the customer details of ID 1, because he made 32 transactions, right? Like this it will do. Like this it will work in whenever we are solving with the correlated subqueries. See, now we practically saw the output. We know at least in customer ID 1 we have 32 transactions. In customer ID 2 we have 27 transactions. We didn't count it from here, but let's try to see if I'm executing this query whether it is displaying this or not. According to the question, it should display my first customer name and it should not display my second customer name, right? Because I wrote, I want to display who customer details who made at least 30 transactions. It will just count and it will just give the values of the customers, each and every customer how many transactions they did. That values it will store in this level and it will compare with this 30 value. If it is greater only, it will, I mean, this value should be greater, more than 30 or at least 30. That is the reason I didn't use less than or equals to. As I said, at least 30, I used less than symbol here. So whenever my this query, output is at least 30 and greater than 30, that means it should display. So here I have 32. It should display my first customer name. It should not display my second customer name. Let me execute this. I got some employee names here, as I wrote only first name and last name. Now, let me execute. One second, I will write here. Along with this, I will use a semicolon here. And let's see what is the customer details here. Okay. I'm just displaying customer details table. I'm just trying to execute this both together. This is my first output where I got more than 30, where my customers made more than 30 transactions. This is my output. And this is my, sorry guys.
and this is my customer details basically. So if you can see as how we solved directly, hard coded the how I counted everything according to that, it should display first customer name, it should not display second customer name. Okay, first customer name, this is customer details, this is my customer ID, and this is the name of my customer ID, Mary Smith. After executing, in the first row I got Mary Smith only, second row I got Elizabeth Brown. So basically I should not get second ID. So here customer ID 2 is Patricia, I did not got because this customer made only 27 transactions, that is not more than 30. This also I got, did not got directly, I got fifth customer name here, that means all these three customers made less than 30 transactions only. Like that, I mean, this is the why I'm showing in this in the sense to make you understand the output. Okay, basically let me tell you directly, writing complex queries, correlated subqueries will be a little bit tough only. You need to practice a lot to understand this concept, but again, if you want me to suggest something, no need of practicing only, no need of learning, you know I mean, if I tell you frankly, we never use this complex queries in real time, and no one will ask you about the complex queries in interviews, because now only you saw how many times I had to count to get only one customer ID, and like that, how many customers I have in my database. I have 599 customer. At least for the first customer, we counted 32 times. That means our SQL should execute 32 times only for one customer data. For 600 customers, how many times it should execute? So how much waste of memory, and how much, it's not about memory, how much execution time it will take. It's not about execution time also, how much performance it will, every time go on executing, it will completely decrease the performance of the server, right? That is the reason why we will say, by using subqueries we will face performance issues. That is the reason no one in the companies will, even most of the companies, no one allow you to use subqueries only. Joins are better to use instead of subqueries. See, if you can see here, in this above example, I directly use the alias name. I didn't even join, but I given the two tables without joining also. As you know, if I join directly for both the tables, it will join according to the customer ID and it will display the data in one go. But here, what it is doing without joining also, I used two tables with the help of the alias name. Each and every row is almost all trying to execute with the multiple rows in the another table. Correct? This is the disadvantage of correlated subquery, whereas we won't get this issue whenever we are solving with single row or multi-row subqueries. What here it will do, it will just display the data, one value we will get, and with one value it will compare. It won't check each and every row here. Okay, in correlated subqueries only, what it will do, whatever outer query we have, that outer query will check each and every data, each and every row, it will check the condition of the inner query. Okay, did you got my point? Did you understand the concept of correlated subqueries?
Divya, in short, what is meant by complex queries?
Complex queries is
Yeah.
it's nothing but whenever we are solving any more complexity of the data. In joins also we will have complex queries. We will consider in joins whenever we are performing multiple joins, we will consider them as the complex queries. And in subqueries, whenever we are whenever we are using this concept, this particular correlated concept, maybe we will feel it as a complex queries because it is, we are getting some performance issues. Okay,
Okay.
just guys, just a second, just a second. sorry guys. So in whenever we are talking about subqueries, if we are dealing with you know correlated subqueries, we will feel it as complex queries because we will face this performance issues. It's not, we really cannot define what is complex query. It again depends upon the things involved in writing a query. It can be anything, it can be any concept. If we are writing, if we are taking a lot of concepts together, that is also considered as complex queries. If we are using many joins in one statement, we can consider that also a complex query. In subqueries, if whenever we are using correlated subquery, as it will take a lot of time, maybe if we really go, if we are really perfect in writing this solving correlated subqueries, we can write in a go. But SQL had to work a lot. It need to execute some lakhs of, because in real time we will have some obviously big data. Only for that big data, if it keep on executing for every row, if it keep on executing some 20 times, 30 times, it is really decrease the performance of the database, especially client, as it is we will maintain on the client's database. They will have some, they will have, client can understand by, it, if they will every database will have some particular, performance kind of optimization techniques. If we are if the value is increasing or decreasing, the client can understand. For that reason only, in our in the teams also, we are suggested not to use the complex queries. That is, it happens. If you ask about complex queries, I really cannot define properly. Depending upon the questions, depending upon the topics involved, we will consider them as complex queries. But again, as I said, maybe previously, instead of telling a correlated subquery, I said complex query, I guess. So here, whenever we are dealing with correlated subqueries, SQL, we need to execute some lakhs of rows over there. So that is the reason it will affect the performance issues of the database. And that is the reason 99.9% we don't prefer using complex queries. Again, no one will see, if someone feels easy writing complex queries than joins, they can write. But sometimes in some companies, if we are exceeding that, query optimization number, our clients or our management team can understand that we used complex queries. That will become a small problem again. Like that it will be okay. So for that, for this reason only, in interviews also, no one will ask you about the complex queries to solve. If nowadays, previously they used to ask, but almost from 5 6 years, no one is asking subqueries only. If anyone anywhere, if they ask, they will ask you only about multi-row and single row subqueries. Okay, I hope I'm clear. I'm so sorry, guys. On Saturday, I'm taking your a lot much time. I should have stopped before starting correlated only, or else at least with whenever we are discussing the question, I should have stopped. Sorry for that. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, you can ask me.
You said in Hacker Rank website you will show that. Will you show that
Uh,
today
Today,
or
because
Monday?
we have only 4 students only, no better I will show
Students.
you on Monday, or else they will, maybe they will scold me. Almost I
Okay.
took so much of time. I completed the topic. Better I will
Oh,
show on Monday. Okay, everyone.
okay.
My
Mm.
personal suggestion, no trainer should say to leave any concept, but from the interview point of view, if you are completely, please practice remaining every concepts thoroughly. Be thorough with all the concepts where it may be clauses, operators, mainly joins, group by clauses, having clauses. If you are perfect with all these queries till that till, before denormalization, whatever concepts we finished, if you are thorough with them along with the regular expressions, you can solve any of the problems, any of the requirements in your workplace. Okay, and after finishing everything, please concentrate on subqueries. Okay, because this is, I won't say this is useless, but as I said, the disadvantage with this, we won't prefer using this in real time. If you practice some questions, if you can write whatever we are writing the concepts, I mean, we are not much struggling to write a SQL query. The we don't have any issues in writing the query, but SQL will face issues in executing the query. That is the main problem here. If you can practice the questions and if you can learn the subject, that is okay. Okay. So this is about the subqueries concept. We are done with subqueries. Am I clear? Any doubts? Any questions? If everything is clear, we can end the session and we will start some new concept on Monday. On Monday only, I will show you that hacker rank and all. If you have any questions also, you can ask me on Monday.
I've asked you before 2 days regarding upsert UPSCRT, that command. Can
Can
you
you
please
please, can you please text me in Zoom chat about that question? I'm really unable to understand that. Sorry for that.
that is for
Because I never,
that is
to be frank, I never heard about that. Please type it in the chat.
okay. Just a minute.
Ma'am, please cover pivot and unpivot concept also, if possible.
Pivot and pivot. I'm really not sure, Pritesh. I cannot, I cannot promise you.
Okay.
Okay. I will
Because
cover Windows functions for sure because that is important. But pivot in a SQL is not that important. In Excel, we will
actually,
use.
ma'am, they give a database and they change the row name and the column names and the changes. And they want me to convert. Like I have given the
Sorry,
interview
sorry. Can
also.
you please repeat it? I didn't get you. What you said.
Actually, ma'am, in interview they gave me a question like and they interchange the name and they ask me to like change the row names to the column names and column names to the row names so that the size
By
of the
using and by using.
pivot and unpivot.
No. In which tool? I mean, in which round they asked you by in SQL in Excel or in any visualization tool?
I mean, in the first round only. The third question was this only.
Not no. What was the role for that interview? I'm asking.
Data analyst, ma'am.
That's what. See, basically, we will do that. We will interchange rows and columns by using visualization tools, or else we can do that in Excel file, but not in SQL. I mean, we will have in SQL also, but we won't do that. Maybe in your question, I mean, they asked you to do that maybe in the Excel file by using pivot function or else by using visualization tool. Let me check.
SQL.
Let me check with the SQL also. But I cannot promise you because, we are almost going to end the session. I mean, we are almost done with many sessions and we are left over with the concepts. If I finish all the concepts, basically if not in the course content also, I will cover Windows function for each and every batch because that is a very important concept. That is, that is a kind of a compulsory interview question if you are trying for some kind of experience, like not for freshers but with experience. I will cover that, but pivot function I will try to cover, Pritesh. Okay, I'm not sure.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. So with this, we are done with subqueries. Okay, Sweta, I got it now. I will check that and I will let you know. Okay,
Okay, Divya.
on Monday I will let you know about it. Sorry, you
For
asking something?
Tableau, I'll be joining next batch, Divya.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
it's up to you.
Yeah. Okay. Just need to.
Okay, sure, no problem.
Uh,
All right.
the time will be same, right? 8 p.m.
What?
You take for Tableau for next batch. It will be 8 p.m. or
I'm
you'll
not
be.
sure because once it is done, maybe I'm completely not sure. Sometimes I will take Tableau completely in the morning session and SQL completely in the night session. Sometimes it will be clubbed. I am really not sure. However, the management will plan like that accordingly. It will be there
Okay. Then
because I
okay.
already done with this. I mean, I'm going to complete this batch, right? After completing this batch, I will have one Tableau batch. So immediately in this slot, I will start again a SQL batch. And once in the mid of that SQL batch, maybe I will complete that Tableau batch, and maybe in that timing we will plan a backup batch or another batch for SQL also. So I'm not sure. It's completely it won't be, we won't follow the same pattern. For some months we will do see whatever how many students we got now. From last 2 months I'm taking Tableau for in the evening session only. Most of some students in every batch, they're asking me,
Mm.
they are coming to the demos and they're asking me they want morning classes. Maybe because of them, maybe we will plan morning batches. I'm not sure. I cannot say now.
Okay, I will
So
just
that is
wait
the
and
thing. Okay, yeah. So if you can get the updates from Durga Soft, no, accordingly, whatever my next batch will be, if the timing is okay for you, you can join like that. Whenever you feel comfortable, you can join. No problem.
okay, Divya.
All right, guys, I think we are done. I'll end the session now. Okay, with this, we are done with subqueries. Maybe the next concept, what we have, views or indexes, I'm not sure. I'll check the course content and we'll start that concept on Monday. Along with that, I will explain the ER diagrams and I will show you the about the hacker rank and all. Okay. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time. On almost you gave me 1.5 hours on weekend. Thank you. Let's end the session now. Okay. All right. Bye bye.